Hey guys, thanks for taking the time to check out Ledgersync today. During this quick little overview, we're going to give you kind of a quick synopsis of where you can find everything inside of Ledgersync and what it can basically do for you. Then you can use a deeper tutorial to go kind of step by step to expand your learning from there if you'd like. So if we jump in real quick, right off the bat, you'll notice on the far left-hand side here, this is where you'll have a list of every single one of your clients that you've connected inside of Ledgersync. Once you've connected a client, you can ask them or you can connect their different financial institutions just by clicking the Add a Bank Account here. When you do the Add a Bank connection, you'll see the four different options that we have here. The top option is our connection with Finicity and MasterCard, which helps us pull the transactional information and statements from most of the financial institutions. Some banks nowadays are switching over to a full API system, and some statements may not be available through this system, to where we are actually coding them ourselves through our premium bank connections. Now, there are two problem child basically in our industry. I'm sure you guys already know. It's our Chase and our Capital Ones. In these scenarios, what we've done with Chase, pretty much nobody's able to gather those statements. So we've custom coded our own version. What that means is if you need Chase statements and transactions, you'd actually want to click the top one, select Chase, go through that process. And at the very end, what it will end up doing is ask you, hey, would you also like those statements, and walk you through that secondary workflow. It does require two different connections, but the workflow makes it nice and easy. Hopefully that will help kind of explain it. The concept's the same, of course, with Capital One and statements. Now, once you've made your connection on this dashboard, you'll see initially a summary, and it's going to show you all the different accounts that were accessible through that username and password, their balances and everything else. You can, of course, go through and if you need to update balance or update transactions, click these buttons very easily. And if for some reason, if one of your clients, there's an issue with maybe using password, there's an error, you'll see the button here that says text client to fix. This really helps save time, gets it right over to them. And when they have a moment, they can go through the process to re-update the password, especially if you have one of those people that like to change that password every 2 weeks because they tend to forget it all the time. Now, in the transactions table, this is where you'd actually see a full list of all the transactions and the information you need. This table will vary a bit depending on whether or not you're actually taking advantage of our global rules engine. At the moment, we're going to stay focused just on the overall side of this, but be sure to check out some of our deeper tutorials that'll show you how to use all of that. On the transactions page, you'll see, of course, we could select different transactions to decide what we want to do with it. You can either select them one at a time, scroll down, hit shift, and select multiple at a time. Now from here, you have the ability that you can actually go and download these transactions. So if you're using Ledgersync to grab transactions, you can then export them and then upload them into whatever accounting platform you wish. .qbo is best for a QuickBooks desktop environment. .ofx works basically across most cloud accounting platforms, as does usually .qbo. And then your .csv, of course, is the ability to kind of manipulate the data yourself, and that also tends to work across just about every platform. So we really give you the accessibility to work with just about any system you would possibly like. Once you decide what you want, you select them, click the download, and you'll notice the naming convention will actually have the client name, the bank, the last four of the institution, and then say transactions, just so you can kind of see what they are a little bit faster. A running balance is to give you actually a running ongoing balance every single month, because even on the transaction page, we have the opportunity to where you can basically do a special report that will show just the transactions that have happened up to date. That's really useful if you have credit cards that are closing halfway through the month and you need to do a soft close on those at the end of the month, of course. On the statements tab, you're going to see a listing of all of your different statements all right here, and they'll be broken out by the different numbers, of course. You have the ability to select it directly into one account through these. Basically, every one of these all have different filters, which are pretty powerful. Once you're inside of here, you can select to download a statement, and when you do that, it's going to show you the date of the statement, the ending date, client name, the bank, and the last four digits. I stress these things because if you have somebody that comes in and they're just doing all the data collection for you, just going bloop, 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 you'll still be able to pretty easily see what came from where to then turn back around and organize all the information. Now, our last area is actually our checks. And in the checks area, This is something we custom code for our premium institutions, where we're going in to go grab and scrape the images and bring them back to a single unified scrolling page. So gone are the days of having to go in and click, wait for one thing to upload, save it, rename it, go to do the next one. The whole point of this is for us to be able to capture and grab all the stuff back faster. We've also even recently added in little extra filtering capabilities with the check versus deposit to break it out to get to things quicker, as well as, again, filtering by amount or even check numbers and date ranges. Transactions also have quite a bit of that filtering as well, as you can see through here. Finally, we also have up at the top here some different cloud storage options and the ability to add employees. If you want to add an employee into the system, you can do so for no additional charge. And once you do that, you can actually choose to assign which clients they do and do not have access to. One of the best examples we've really heard of this is from one of our larger firms that partners up a global team member with every in-house accountant. So the global team members are limited to just the clients they need to be working on. Keeps them on target a little bit better. We have our cloud storage that we're always continuing to expand this. We're actually reworking and making stronger our connections with Dropbox, SharePoint, Google Box, and OneDrive. So if you've got some more questions, reach out to our support team, and we'll be happy to help you with that as well. Finally, just as a quick little look, we have our global rules engine. And the point of this is to basically be able to take, very much like QuickBooks Online, where you can have different bank feed rules at every single client level, client account. But then sometimes you actually want to be able to take those and move them up to a global level rule, so one rule could work across all clients. And we've been building that out for some time now. We're excited to share that with you. So if this is something that you'd like to learn a little bit more about, be sure to check out our other tutorials. And of course, if you've got questions, reach out to our team. Any of us would be more than happy to help you at any point in time. Thank you so much, and here's wishing you a very successful week.